welcome to my channel. I kind of want to outline things for you since this is my first video. So I plan to do videos every Thursday and possibly one or two on the weekends because I have more time then and I enjoy making videos. So, yeah, there's another little tradition that I kind of want to install, I don't know, and that is that I'd like to show you guys the books that I'm currently reading or book at the beginning of every video, just so that you can kind of get a feel for the stuff that I'm reading at the time, or I don't know, I just think it'll be really fun. And so I'm going to start off with that. Right now I'm reading two books, but one of them's a reread, so I'm going to start off with the book that I'm reading for the first time, which is The Kill Order by James Dashner. This is the prequel to the Maze Runner trilogy, and I'm really enjoying it so far. I love the Maze Runner trilogy. It's my favorite trilogy right now, and I would really suggest it. There's a movie coming out in September where Dylan O'Brien is starring as the main character, so you should really get to it because it's an amazing book, it's an amazing series, and I really enjoy it. I know I've heard some people say they didn't like The Scorched Trials and The Death Cure as much as they did the Maze Runner, but I would still suggest carrying on with the series because I really loved them. And I don't know what the problem was with them. I didn't feel like they were any worse than the first book. I don't know why people have trouble with them, but I had no trouble with them, so I really suggest that. Yeah. The next book that I'm reading or rereading right now is currently very, very, very popular, and it is The Fault in Our Stars by John Green, and I'm rereading this because I kind of want to do a review on my channel before I see the movie on Tuesday, so this might be one of my weekend videos. I am about 150 pages in right now, so I think I'm about halfway through, and I hope to finish this really soon so I can get the review up before I see the movie and then maybe do a little movie review of it. I don't know, but I'm really excited about this, and I'm really enjoying it the second time around. I don't know why. Maybe I read it too fast the first time, but I'm liking it better than I did when I read it first. So I would definitely suggest rereading this book if you've read it once and you haven't reread it yet. Definitely reread it. Okay, the next thing I'm going to show you is I have 17 books that I bought within the last week or so, and I went to Half Price Books, then I went to my favorite used bookstore, which is called Folks, and I got one book as a gift. So first I'm going to show you the 4 books that I have read, which were all from Half Price Books, then the books from Half Price Books, the books from Folks, and then the one I got as a gift. So there's kind of 4 little sections to this. The first book that I bought from Half Price Books that I have read is Anna Dressed in Blood by Kendare Blake. This was an amazing book. I loved it, and I have a review on Goodreads if you want to check that out. I'll link my Goodreads below, but I don't want to go into too much depth because then this video will get really, really long. But I would definitely suggest this book. Let me put it behind me. The next book I read, I wasn't so jazzed about. I did not enjoy it as much. It's Let the Sky Fall by Shannon Messenger. I feel like there's a little bit too much hype around this book because I didn't really like it that much. I didn't enjoy it. I know there's a sequel coming out, and I'm thinking I may read the sequel, but I might check that out from the library instead of buying it because I'm still kind of curious about what might happen to our characters, and I think I'm going to reread this and give it another chance because I'm thinking it might just be the environment in which I read it and my mood at the time, and maybe I read it too fast, so I'm going to give it a second chance. The next book that I bought that I have read, I loved. This is a close second for my favorite, Anna Dressed in Blood being the first one. This is Daughter of Smoke and Bone by Laini Taylor. This is the first book in the Daughter of Smoke and Bone trilogy, second being Days of Blood and Starlight, and the last one is Dreams of Gods and Monsters, which came out very recently. I don't have those two right now, so I haven't read them yet, but I really, really enjoyed this, so I'm probably going to try to find those soon. And yeah, I would really, really suggest this one as well. The next book I read that I bought is also the first book in a trilogy, and it is A Great and Terrible Beauty by Libba Bray. This is the first book in the Gemma Doyle trilogy, the second being Rebel Angels, and the third The Sweet Far Thing. And I won The Sweet Far Thing in a giveaway last summer, so I've slowly been trying to find the other 2 books, and I found Rebel Angels a couple weeks ago at Folks, and I decided to buy that, and now I just found this at Half Price Books, and I already read it, like I said, and I really, really enjoyed that. So I would suggest that as well. Okay, the first book that I bought that I haven't read from Half Price Books is Flight by Angie Sage. This is the second book in the Septimus Heap series. I believe there are 6 books, and the first one is Magic, and I haven't finished it yet, but I started it about a year ago, and I put it down because it was way long, and I didn't want to push my way through it right then. It's over 500 pages long. But I really, really enjoyed the part that I have read. And this was only $3, so I decided to pick it up because I'd probably never find it that cheap again, and this way I have this for if and when I finish Magic. The next book I bought is Grave Mercy by Robin Lefevre. This is the first book in the His Fair Assassin series or trilogy. I think it's a trilogy. Mortal Heart just came out, and I know that's the third one, or I'm pretty sure that's the third one. Correct me down below, guys, because I'm not positive. But I've heard good things about this. It's super cheap at Half Price Books, so I picked it up. The next two books I got are part of a duology, so I bought the whole series, and it is Eon and Iona by Alison Goodman. These are about a young girl who disguises herself as a boy so she can train to become a dragon eye. I'm not exactly sure about all the details, but I'm kind of glad because I feel like I'm better going into these kind of blind. So I'm really excited about these as well. Okay, the second to last book I bought from Half Price Books is really scary, but it was recommended to me by someone I really trust for their book recommendations, so I bought it, and it is The Way of Kings by Brandon Sanderson. This book is gigantic. It's 1,001 pages long. It's the first book in the Stormlight Archive series, and I know there's a second book out. I don't know overall how many books there are going to be, but it's kind of scary because it's huge. It's really heavy, too. But yeah, it was also really cheap at Half Price Books. This was only, it's supposed to be £17, but it was $6.75 in dollars at my local Half Price Books, so I picked it up. And I know nothing about it. I would tell you guys about what it's about, but I have absolutely no clue what it's about because I want to go into it blind, so I haven't read the back of it. The last book I bought from Half Price Books, I have a bit of a story about this book, or about how or why I bought this book. I don't know if some of you guys have this problem, but I have this kind of habit where I'll hear a really good thing about this series. Like, say for example, I heard good things about the Selection trilogy, and then I saw the one for really, really cheap. Well, I would probably end up buying the one, even though I don't own nor have read the Selection or Elite. I think that's the second one. And yeah, I end up doing stuff like that a lot, where I end up with the last or second to last book in a series before I've read the first one or own the first one. So it's kind of a habit that I have. It's just, if it's really cheap and I know I'm going to like it, I just can't resist buying it. So this whole spiel was because I bought Shades of Earth by Beth Revis. This is the third book in the Across the Universe trilogy, and I do not own Across the Universe, nor have I read it. Same, of course, with A Million Suns. So this was $4 in hardcover at Half Price Books, and I just couldn't not buy it because I know I'm going to love this trilogy. I just haven't gotten around to tracking the others down right at this second in time. But I know I'm going to do it soon since now I have the last book. Okay, so those are all the books that I bought from Half Price Books, and I'm going to move on to the books that I got from Folks, which is the used bookstore that I mentioned earlier. I bought 6 books there. I bought these a couple days ago, right before I went to the movies. I saw The Edge of Tomorrow. Guys, that movie is amazing. But we had to stop by our local library, and that's where Folks is, so I decided to pop in there and check out their books, and they actually had some really, really good books. So I bought 6. And the first one is The Thief Lord by Cornelia Funk. I haven't heard a lot about this book. I mean, I've heard a couple of things, but I had a friend with me who said she just read it and thought it was really, really good, so I picked it up since it was 50 cents. By the way, at this store that I'm talking about, all YA paperbacks are 50 cents and hardcovers are $1. So it's really amazing, except for the fact that at this bookstore, people donate books since it is a secondhand bookstore, and you don't typically find a lot of popular books in there. You find a lot of pretty old books, maybe books that were popular a couple years ago, but not anything really new. So you'll see why I mention this in a minute, because I found some pretty amazing books. The next book that I bought is Peter and the Shadow Thieves by Dave Barry and Ridley Pearson. This is the second book after Peter and the Starcatchers, and I didn't know it's the second book when I bought it, and I'm kind of disappointed that it is the second book, but I do plan on finding the first book. Maybe I'll check that one out from the library so I can read this one, because I've heard good things about this, even though it is a middle grade series, but I'm okay with that. The next book that I bought is Gossip Girl by Cecily von Schiegesser. I'm not at all. I'm so sorry. I probably butchered that so bad. But Yeah, I've heard good things about this as well. Again, 50 cents, so I bought it. That's like my logic for this entire store. It's 50 cents, I'm gonna buy it. The next 3 books I'm actually very, very, very excited for. And the first one being Splendor by Anna Godberson. This is the last book in the Lux series, which is over here behind me. I bought all the previous books from the same bookstore, so overall this series cost me $2. And that's really, really exciting. So I'm really glad I have this one, and there's no writing in it, which there is on some of my other ones, which makes me really angry. But this is it's worn, but I like that these are worn. I don't know why, but I feel like this is the right series to have worn copies of because it's historical fiction. So, I don't know. I like it, and I'm glad that I found that. The next book that I bought, I am so excited for. This book is in such good condition. It looks like I just went and bought it from Barnes & Noble, even though I got it secondhand. And it is Unwind by Neal Shusterman. This is the first book in the Unwind dystology. I think that's how you pronounce that word. I'm not quite sure. But it's sci-fi, I believe, about parents can have their children unwound, whereby all of the child's organs are transplanted into different donors so life doesn't technically end. There you go. Sounds really interesting, and I'm really, really happy that I have this, and I hope to read it really, really, really soon. This might be what I read right after The Kill Order, because it sounds like a good book to jump into after reading the Maze Runner trilogy, which I pretty much marathoned for the last week. So yeah, I'm really excited to read this very, very soon. And I've saved the best for last. I cannot believe that I found this book, and I'm so happy that I did. And it is Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children by Ransom Riggs. As I mentioned earlier, it's really hard to find popular books in this bookstore because people donate books there. And I cannot I cannot believe that I found this book in hardcover there. It's so incredible, and I'm so happy, and this is another one that I'm going to read really soon, but I think I'll read this one after Unwind. I don't know why, I feel like that's the right way to do things. But yeah, I'm really excited about this. And in case you guys were wondering, since this bookstore is so cheap, overall, these 6 books cost me $3.76. Enough said. You can see why I'm obsessed with it now, probably. Maybe, I don't know. The last book I got as a gift because I was discussing how I haven't read much Stephen King with a friend, and I went on vacation for a couple of days last week, and I got back home, and this was waiting for me, and I'm so excited. It is It by Stephen King, and she bought this for me after we were talking about how I haven't read any Stephen King, and I'm so excited for it. I don't know when I'm going to read this. I also own The Shining by him, so I think I might marathon those 2 books in the winter time because I feel like that's the right time to read these. I don't know why. I feel like I should read other books during the summer and then read these during the winter because maybe they're a little heavier books physically and mentally. But yeah, I'm really excited for this. So thank you for buying this book for me. Okay. Oh, that was way loud. That is the end of my book haul, guys. I'm really, really happy that you watched this video, and please, please, please subscribe. I'm going to leave a couple links below for my Instagram and Goodreads and all that great stuff. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll hopefully see you on Saturday with a Fault in Our Stars review. So yeah, bye!